Hey y'all. Well, I've done with the old timers, or remember I used to say I popped a squat here next to this old brush pile. Not scared of what's in it because we just put it there. Trouble is, I'm afraid I may not be able to get up now. Me and Jordan got after it this afternoon on a little tree raising, or canopy raising, on some of these old trees in the pasture. On this back one here, I was piling up these limbs, and I noticed a little patch of something that back in the day, if we'd have spied a big old pasture or field full of this on any given Saturday or after school, we'd have had a war with it. Used to call them spear weeds. Y'all ever mess with any of these? And Jordan remembers. Let me see if I can get one of them off. This will bring back some memories for some of you. But they grow on, where's my camera? There it is. But you take, they got little barbs on them. They don't hurt. But boy, you can sure chunk them, and they will stick to whatever clothing they hit. Something else I saw out here, I don't know what the proper name for it is, but we used to call it sour grass. It's not quite old enough, but we'd pick it and chew on the end of it before they had sour gummy bears and all that. That's what us country kids did. But old speargrass and sourweed, or sour grass, probably not the right name for it, but that was back in a time when I didn't know the right name for it, and those were better times back then. Now that we're all grown up and intellectual and we research out all the right names for it, it's a different time. I think I'm content knowing what I used to call it, because that goes along with good memories. But been a good day here. I got out here in a few of these old trees, and dewberries are starting to put on some berries. We got out here and raised the canopy on a few of these things. Somebody was talking the other day about okra, and I knew I had failed to plant another plot, so got the mower out here and found a patch where there wasn't many dewberry vines, and made Jordan a little putting green. No, that'll be the okra patch. That should be more than enough there. Probably slip in a few more tomatoes in on it. But ran across these old deer pear, talking about names of things. Discovered last fall these are deer pears, but I got a different name for them these days. Nuisance. That's all this whole thing is. I mean, I am, with gloves and everything, I am torn up from thorns. I'm half of mine just think that the Romans sent a posse over here to find the thorns for our Savior's crown. Cause man, these things, look at that, on every branch. Like to tore me up today. But we got it trimmed back. It needs to come on down, but we don't have a chainsaw that works right, so we just got the limb loppers out and did what we could. My cousin Donna, if you're watching, and Justin lives down the road. Justin is on the Nacogdoches Fire Department. About this Saturday, I'm not sending up smoke signals for y'all to come this way. I'll have it in control this time, brother. But we'll get these old piles burned. Pea sprouts were baking in the sun today, and they're starting to see the light. A few of them popping up, probably about 10 or 15% sprouted. But tell you what, after an evening of cool and another morning sun on this old good wet ground, they're all going to be looking at us. I had to knock off the tomato planting as it got hot. Just a little bit too much stress on them plants, so I've got a few more to set in this evening before we call it a day. I was pulling on some old vines out there. I've got a couple of different stacks. For those of you that in the country or in a little land clearing, you know better than to burn that poison ivy and poison oak. A couple of those trees were full of it, so we won't be burning those. Had a dear friend a long time ago got a hold of some of that smoke, and that ain't nothing pretty at all in the lungs. But we're being careful. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I was waiting for that field to dry out. Y'all know I've been wanting to work on this old calf pen, and that's where old little man comes to hide. Of course, he's kind of assimilated in the chickens now. But we're starting to knock it. Jordan and I got after some more remnants of it today, but that's how it used to look. Got tickled at the old fence. It reminded me, of course I ain't gonna tear it down, ain't no need in it. It reminded me of the philosophy question, that paradox. What was it, Chesterton's fence? Talking about got somebody want to come along and tear down a fence. They don't see any use in it. Kind of applying it to laws and principles and things we set in place to keep things safe. If a man comes along and wants to tear that old fence down because he don't see the use of it, he don't get to do it. He needs to wait and study it and find out why that fence was put up before he goes to wanting to tear it down. Maybe then he would have the authority to tear it down. I thought that was a pretty good little thinking thing. I'll let y'all study on that. But we was pulling them vines. I got to think about my dear old mom. Of course, she's not in the health to do it now, obviously, but I remember growing up on an old cul-de-sac there in Huntsville off Turner Street, and wooded area there where we played, and it was overrun with that Virginia creeper. A lot of folks thought it was poison oak, but Virginia creeper, 5 leaves. Still give you a little itch though if you're not careful. But them trees and pine trees next to the house were full of it. And Mom used to set off in them woods, and she wasn't big as a minute, and she'd start pulling on them vines, and she'd be out there, she'd come home from work and be out there in the dark pulling them vines. Dad'd come out and holler for her, take it easy and get in the house. She'd come rolling out of them woods with just vines in tow. I don't know what in the world. I guess it was therapeutic for her. I kind of got that today. So, little vine pulling going on. Ladies gave us 24 eggs today, and I got rid of my trespassing sign, y'all. Those of y'all that saw that video of that old ugly snake, I told one on myself this morning on a Ben's Leghorns update. He was hanging right here, and that's my compost tea we got baking. I imagine it's pretty ripe under that plastic. I ain't pulling it up today after that sun. But I was standing here messing with it, and I walked by him a dozen times, knew he was there. But I was messing with it the other day, and I turned around to go this way, met him eye to eye, and I ended up out yonder before I realized he was dead. I said, all right, that's enough of that joke. So I threw him out in the high pasture, and that's all it took. Some old possum or something got him, he'd gone. I don't know, maybe I gave a offering to the chicken hawk. Maybe he swooped down and got him. I don't know. As long as he stays out of these chickens, we'll be all right. But anyway, chickens are wallowing by the cedar tree. Probably write a song about that if I could write. We have to call my buddy Tony and tell him about that. I ain't never seen nothing like it. They even recruited one of them big old white broilers that don't even know how to be a chicken much. That is the beatingest thing I ever seen. All that dirt. Now, they stay out of the garden unless I'm in it. I know I got to watch them. A lot of folks won't believe that, but if I'm out there in it, and they're going to come out there and peck around and try to find some seeds or whatever, but if I'm not in it, they'll let it alone. I wish I'd look at these silly birds. That beat anything? Tell me that ain't comfortable right there. That is living the life. Just filthy. Yeah, we're looking at y'all. Crazy things. That must be the life, y'all. Just wallow in the dirt. Get your belly full, and there you go. But anyway, been a good day. Hope y'all have one. Have had one as well. We'll be hitting the paid work tomorrow and the rest of the week. We'll check in as we can. I still got a few tomatoes to set out. I did cook those old mustard greens last night. First time I've done my hand at it, even though I've seen it done a million times. But they sure tasted good, I'm telling you. I cooked them a little long. You know us men, we're always doing stuff last minute. You're supposed to put them things on for a while, but I realized I wanted some about 5. So I got in there and boiled them old ham hocks to death. And then threw my mustard greens after. You know, I didn't have to wash them quite as much as you would the store-bought. I knew where they came from. And I remember Mama was sure particular when you was picking them greens to keep them out of the dirt. Now I know why. I've got the working knowledge of it now. Standing over that sink, Jordan come in there several times. He had never seen that done, picking them leaves off and cleaning the stems. And he'd come in there and check on me because he was ready for dinner. Of course, he didn't know it was going to be a way away. He'd come in there and look at me, and I'd show him what I was doing, and he'd disappear. About 10 minutes later, he'd come back. I'm still picking greens. 10 minutes later, he was some kind of exasperated. He ain't never seen nothing like that. But he sure ate them. He liked them. Sopped that old good liquor over that cornbread, man. I'm looking for. I had too much pot liquor. Well, I don't think you can have too much pot liquor as long as you got the cornbread, right? And we still got plenty of cornbread in there and plenty of pot liquor. So that's probably what's going to be a lot of my supper tonight. Sitting there with a big old bowl of that. Then I'll rinse out the bowl because there ain't no woman trying to tell me I got to get a new one. Probably wouldn't anyway. And I'll put some big old bluebell scoops in there and call it a day. Be wallowing out here like that chicken. Oh man, they are something else. Goofy birds. They sure are a benefit to a farm, I'll tell you that. I'm just tickled at them tonight. They are wallowing. I got this. Look at that thing. It's just like an old dog. What are y'all doing? Huh? You on TV? Yeah. You don't like that, do you? Look at all that dirt. Old silly chicken. Oh, let me do a roll call while I'm watching these chickens wallow in the dirt. Bunch of wallowing birds. There's Karen. How are you, ma'am? Miss Patrice, how are you? Brenda's up in Arkansas. Y'all got a beautiful spring day going. Good. Miss Kathy, how are you? Mini speargrass heads, yep. It's been a while since I thought about those, so I ran across that little old patch this evening. I got Jordan with one of them. He wasn't real enthused. He does remember them. I might need to put me some in my pocket and throw them at him here in a minute. He probably won't laugh. There's Mary. How are you? Thank you. Yeah, sorry to hear about that flood. And there's Miss Melinda. Wait for it. Thanks for the cue. In Oregon. I did it. Look at there. I get my Nebraskas and Oregons mixed up. If it's outside of Texas north, sorry. I can tell you the parts of a plant, but I guess I can't name where my good friends are from sometimes. That's a shame, ain't it? Oh well, maybe I'll get better. Thank you, Melinda. The mustard greens were good. I was talking about them, but I got sidetracked as I normally do. Man, I didn't realize I was that dirty. Sorry about that. I boiled down them ham hocks real quick and threw the mustard greens in, and I was boiling them way too fast. But they tasted good, but they were a little overcooked. But not bad for my first round. Put a little jalapeno pepper in it, and onions, and salt and pepper. And that's good eating. But we'll have some more of that this evening after I get some more of these tomato plants put in. I got to admit something, I messed up. I'm gonna blame it on Kimberly. Y'all remember she was talking about switching around my seeds over there, my labels. I don't think she did this, but I'm blaming it on her anyway. I put some marigolds about every 50 foot on my pea rows to attract ladybugs, take care of my aphids. Well, at the flat I got them out of, I didn't use them all, so that flat was growing a lot quicker than what they are out here in the ground. And I got to looking at them things, and them are the funniest looking marigolds. They're tomatoes, about 6 inches tall. So not that it hurts anything, but I'm gonna have to move them around and get me some more marigolds. But I've got tomatoes next to my, Kimberly, that's your fault. Switching my labels around, I tell you what, can't do nothing. So I'm blaming that one on her. Had me all mixed up. I had to go talk to my buddy up at Millard's farm. Only in the country, y'all. I loaded that half flat of vegetables in the truck, went up there this morning with my coffee, and he was out there on a tractor planting peas. And I took that flat out there. I said, man, are these marigolds or tomatoes? He looked at it, he said, them tomatoes. And then he said, I didn't even think about this. He said, look. And he pinched one of the leaves off and he smelled it, let me smell it, and sure enough, it was tomato. Come back, took the marigold, total different smell. So Kimberly, thanks a lot. You owe me some marigolds. I got your plant cutting that I robbed off your plant rooting in there. So I'll give you another plant after you kill yours. And no, she's got a green thumb. She does well. Anyway, so I got tomatoes to move out here in the garden. I don't know what in the world's going on. I hope I don't get the peppers mixed up. At least I can tell them by sight, right? Well, that's enough rambling for the night. I didn't even finish roll call. You ought to see how many coffee cups I got on this place. I can't keep a train of thought. I have no coffee cups in the house and walk out here and find 50 of them. I'll take a drink, set it down, then have to go get another cup because I can't find that one. Y'all ever do that? I imagine you do. There's Carrie in Midland. Hey, Miss Ladina. I did bust a couple of sweats today. Bruce, we got a pretty good rain, brother. It was a nice slow soaking. I was a little worried with it being stormy, it's going to come gully wash on us, but about a quarter an inch a day while it was raining. So about a total of a ½ inch. Soaked these old crops in just right. Somebody used the word larapin last night on my post with that mustard greens. Wanted to know if I knew about that word. I do know about that word. I always heard it used as when you're describing something good to eat as cat larapin. You ever heard it used that way? It always had cat in the front of it for some reason. That's how I remember it. But yes, those mustard greens were cat larapin, as Mima would say. There's Linda, thank you. And Miss Kelly. Summer finally arrived in West Texas. Woo, over 90 degrees. It almost hit 80 today. Let's see, getting snow in Wisconsin tomorrow. My goodness. Oh, man. Angela says, making me so hungry, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're taking dust baths. That's how they actually get clean. You're right, Karen. Happy chickens lay more eggs. Thank you, Mike, out in California. Angela Reed. There's Miss Karen. Yes, ma'am. Miss Charlotte down at Trinity. How are you, ma'am? Let's see what Steven's got to say. Got some beautiful speckled trout on the plate out of Port Mansfield. Those greens, ooh, man, wouldn't they? I imagine we could work the trade, brother. I don't know if that distance is going to kill that deal, though. Boy, it sounds good. Let's see. Hey, Donna, how are you? Been missing you. I mentioned you earlier in the feed. I don't know when you jumped on. I'm going to have a couple of brush fires out here to get rid of some of these tree branches, and wanted you to let Justin know it wasn't a call for help. I think I'm going to have it under control with all this wet. There's Mr. Gary. How are you, buddy? Thank you. Let's see. Oh, I do know the difference between tomato and marigold once they get more than one leaf on them, but the sprouts look pretty close to the same. So, anyway, you'll have to go back and hear that. Gully washers, that's right, Margaret. That is right. Well, let me show you that, man, I'm surprised. Show up on the camera, but look at them. So them trees did look like that, all bushy. And we took the canopies up on a few of them, and man, it did a whole world of difference out here on this pasture. I told Jordan it so I could see Bigfoot walking along that tree line. He didn't buy that. I didn't figure he would. I tried. Y'all have a good evening. Be the light and make a difference. Make somebody smile. And guess we'll talk to y'all later. Good evening. Bye.